For decades, Jennifer Aniston has been Hollywood's golden girl, the beloved star of Friends who seemed to have it all. But behind the perfect smile and glamorous red carpet moments was a story filled with betrayal, heartbreak, and battles she kept hidden for years. From a toxic relationship with her own mother, to her very public split from Brad Pitt, to the painful truth about why she never became a mom, Jennifer's real life is far darker than most fans realize. And what she finally revealed at 55 shocked even her closest followers. Jennifer Aniston's story begins long before the fame and fortune. Born in 1969 to two actors, John Aniston and Nancy Dow, her childhood should have been filled with creativity and comfort. But behind the scenes, things were anything but perfect. Her parents' marriage was rocky, and by the time Jennifer was just 9 years old, they had split. Her father drifted away, leaving Jennifer to grow up with her mother, and that relationship became one of the most painful parts of her life. Nancy Dow was obsessed with appearances. She constantly criticized Jennifer's looks, telling her to wear makeup, lose weight, or change something about herself. For a young girl, those comments cut deep, and Jennifer carried those wounds for years. But the betrayal didn't stop there. In the mid-90s, Nancy gave a tabloid interview about her daughter and later released a memoir exposing private details about their relationship. For Jennifer, it was the ultimate humiliation, and she didn't speak to her mother for 15 years. These early struggles planted seeds of insecurity that would follow Jennifer into adulthood. But they also lit a fire in her. If she couldn't find approval at home, she would chase it on stage. And that decision changed everything. Acting became Jennifer's escape, but the road to success was anything but glamorous. After attending New York's prestigious LaGuardia High School of Performing Arts, she threw herself into theater, taking small roles in off-Broadway productions. But paying the bills was another story. Jennifer worked as a waitress, a telemarketer, even a bike messenger, hustling just to survive while chasing her dream. Her first TV roles weren't promising. Shows like Malloy and Ferris Bueller barely lasted a season before being canceled, and Jennifer's confidence began to crumble. By the early 1990s, she had already seen 4 of her shows fail. At one point, she was so discouraged that she considered giving up acting altogether. But fate stepped in. One day, she broke down in tears at a Los Angeles gas station and just happened to run into Warren Littlefield, the head of NBC Entertainment. He told her not to quit, promising her that something big was coming. Months later, that something turned out to be the audition that would change her life forever. A brand new sitcom called Friends. When Jennifer Aniston walked into that audition for Friends in 1994, she had no idea her life was about to change forever. Originally, she tried out for the role of Monica Gendler, but the producers saw something different in her, something that fit perfectly with another character. And just like that, Jennifer became Rachel Green, the stylish, slightly chaotic girl next door who would capture the hearts of millions. Friends exploded into a cultural phenomenon almost overnight. Viewers connected instantly with Rachel's charm and relatability, and Jennifer went from struggling actress to household name. Awards soon followed: 5 Emmy nominations, a Golden Globe, and eventually the title of one of the highest-paid actresses in television history. By the final season, she and her castmates were each making $1 million per episode, a record-breaking number that stunned Hollywood. But it wasn't just the paycheck or the accolades. Rachel's on-screen romance with Ross Geller, played by David Schwimmer, became one of television's most iconic love stories. Fans debated for years over whether they were on a break, and magazines constantly featured Jennifer as America's sweetheart. For a moment, it seemed like she truly had it all. Yet fame comes with a cost, and behind the laughter and applause, Jennifer's personal life was about to take a turn that would shock the world. At the height of Friends' success, Jennifer's personal life seemed just as perfect as her career. In 1998, her agents set her up on a blind date with Brad Pitt, Hollywood's golden boy. Sparks flew instantly, and within a year, they were making red carpet appearances together. By the summer of 2000, the two tied the knot in a lavish Malibu wedding with fireworks and celebrity guests. To the outside world, they looked like the ultimate power couple. For a while, the fairy tale seemed real. Brad publicly gushed that Jennifer was his love of his life, and fans crowned them Hollywood royalty. Together, they even launched a production company, Plan B Entertainment, signaling that their partnership went beyond romance. But in early 2005, the unthinkable happened. Jennifer and Brad announced their separation, shocking fans everywhere. Almost immediately, rumors exploded. Was Jennifer the one who didn't want children, or was Brad already falling for someone else? The answer seemed clear when photos emerged of Brad with Angelina Jolie, his co-star in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The tabloids went wild, painting Jennifer as the heartbroken wife and Angelina as the other woman. The scandal dominated headlines for months, and suddenly Jennifer, once the sweetheart of America, became the face of heartbreak. While Brad and Angelina embraced the spotlight as Brangelina, Jennifer was left to pick up the pieces. She admitted later that she turned to therapy, yoga, and close friends just to cope with the humiliation. What had looked like a picture-perfect life crumbled in front of the entire world. And for Jennifer, the scars of that very public breakup would linger for years. After her split with Brad Pitt, Jennifer tried to move forward, but her love life remained under the spotlight, and often for painful reasons. In 2008, she began dating musician John Mayer. At first, it looked promising, with Mayer publicly praising Jennifer and calling their connection genuine. But the romance quickly unraveled. While on vacation in Mexico, Jennifer discovered John had been unfaithful. Even after his apologies, she refused to let betrayal slide. Once again, Jennifer found herself back in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. But Jennifer wasn't ready to give up on love. In 2011, she met actor and screenwriter Justin Theroux, and the chemistry was instant. They moved in together, bought a $22 million home in Bel Air, and by 2015, they were married in a private ceremony surrounded by friends. For a moment, it seemed like Jennifer had finally found her happy ending. Unfortunately, just 2 years later, that chapter closed as well. In 2017, Jennifer and Theroux announced their separation, citing irreconcilable differences. The media once again pounced, digging into every detail of her personal life. Through it all, one question haunted Jennifer more than any failed romance: why she never became a mom. For years, tabloids speculated about pregnancy rumors, splashing unflattering paparazzi photos across covers with headlines claiming she was hiding a baby bump. For Jennifer, it wasn't just invasive, it was cruel. By this point, her struggles with relationships and the constant public obsession over her body left her exhausted. But she was about to reveal a hidden battle that few knew about, and it would change how the world saw her. For years, Jennifer stayed silent as the tabloids twisted her personal life into a cruel narrative, the glamorous actress who didn't want kids. But in reality, the truth was far more heartbreaking. In 2022, at 53 years old, she finally broke her silence in an interview with Allure, and what she revealed stunned everyone. She admitted that she had tried for years to have children. She underwent rounds of IVF treatments, explored alternative methods like Chinese medicine, and lived through the emotional roller coaster of hoping month after month. But despite everything, motherhood never happened for her. She confessed to one regret: not freezing her eggs when she was younger. Back then, she said, nobody talked about it, and by the time she realized, it was too late. The endless media speculation, the constant whispers that she chose career over kids, cut her deeply. She revealed that those false stories made her feel both judged and misunderstood, as though her worth was tied to whether or not she could become a mother. But in sharing her truth, Jennifer also found relief. She told the world that chapter of her life was over and she had finally made peace with it. Her struggles didn't define her anymore. They became part of the resilience that shaped her. It was a revelation that not only silenced years of rumors, but also allowed Jennifer to reclaim her story. And from that point on, she began to show the world a different side of herself, one that was stronger, wiser, and ready to reinvent her career yet again. Even after decades in the spotlight, Jennifer Aniston refused to fade into the background. Instead, she reinvented herself in ways nobody expected. In 2018, she took a bold leap into streaming, starring in and producing the Netflix hit Dumplin'. The film wasn't just another credit on her resume, it marked her shift from actress to powerhouse producer, proving she could thrive outside the Friends bubble. Then came the role that reignited her career on television, The Morning Show on Apple TV+. Premiering in 2019 alongside Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer played a fierce news anchor, navigating a world of power, betrayal, and reinvention, a role that mirrored her own journey. Her performance earned her a Screen Actors Guild Award and multiple Emmy and Golden Globe nominations, cementing her as more than just a sitcom star. And then in 2021, nostalgia struck. Jennifer reunited with her Friends castmates for The Reunion special on HBO Max. Fans across the globe tuned in, breaking streaming records, and proving that even decades later, Jennifer's influence hadn't faded one bit. Meanwhile, her financial empire quietly grew. Between Friends royalties, which still bring in tens of millions annually, blockbuster endorsement deals with brands like Smartwater and L'Oreal, and her $1.25 million per episode salary on The Morning Show, Jennifer's net worth soared past $300 million. She wasn't just surviving Hollywood's ups and downs, she was dominating them. But while her professional life flourished, Jennifer began to open up about something far more personal: her views on love, marriage, and the kind of future she wanted for herself. Now at 55, Jennifer Aniston stands in a place few expected: free, resilient, and unapologetically herself. After 2 marriages, countless rumors, and years of being scrutinized for what she didn't have, she's finally defining her happiness on her own terms. When asked if she'd ever marry again, Jennifer keeps it simple. Never say never, but I don't have any interest. For her, love doesn't need a wedding ring or a perfect Hollywood script. She admits there are nights she wishes she could come home and lean on someone's shoulder, but she's no longer willing to compromise who she is just to fit society's idea of a happy ending. She's also been candid about how her parents' toxic marriage left a mark on her own relationships. Watching their struggles made her cautious, even protective of her independence. Instead of seeing that as a weakness, Jennifer now treats it as strength, a reminder that she can build a life that doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. And that's exactly what she's done. With a career that continues to thrive, a fortune that makes her one of Hollywood's wealthiest actresses, and a voice that's more honest and open than ever before, Jennifer has redefined what resilience looks like. She's no longer the tabloid's heartbroken ex-wife or the woman without children. She's simply Jennifer Aniston, a woman who turned pain into power and built a legacy on her own terms. Her story proves that the picture-perfect life we see on magazine covers is rarely the whole truth. But maybe that's why Jennifer's journey captivates millions, because behind the glamour, she's fought the same battles so many people face: heartbreak, family scars, and the pressure to live up to impossible expectations. And in the end, she showed the world that strength doesn't come from having it all. It comes from surviving what you've lost and still choosing to shine. Jennifer Aniston's journey is a reminder that even the brightest stars carry scars we never see. From a childhood filled with betrayal, to the heartbreak of failed marriages, to the silent battles she fought behind closed doors, Jennifer has endured more than most of us could imagine. And yet, she came out stronger, redefining success and happiness on her own terms. It's easy to look at the glamorous red carpets and million-dollar paychecks and assume a celebrity's life is perfect. But Jennifer's story shows us the truth. Resilience isn't about having it all. It's about surviving what you've lost and still choosing to keep going. And that's exactly why people can't stop talking about her. But here's the real question. Has Jennifer finally found peace, or is her story still being written?